this might not be the show for you.
Yeah.
Some of them might be actors and some of them might not. Embarrassing, but I would have actually kicked and screamed.
And then one of the cast walked past and laughed. You made them break character twice.
I did. There are a lot of flashing lights, big white plague doctor mask.
I hadn't realised until the day it was a competition. And I was like, yoga, I think, partnered with calisthenics, if you've seen episode 1.
We tried some different yoga and I think it's called Ashtanga yoga. Overall, it was a really great experience.
Yes.
However,
Hello everyone, welcome back to Movement Theories.
welcome back.
We're in a very weird place right now. It's quite late. We've already filmed an episode.
We're going mad.
And we're going a little bit crazy. Today we're talking about yoga. We've got some show recommendations for you. A local company that we're part of called Chhaya Youth. We're going to talk about that one.
Very exciting.
And then we've got a little debate of do tricks help you in the industry?
Oh, goodness me.
And obviously I'm going to say that they do. Caitlin's going to say they don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because she can't do them. That's probably why she's saying
This is where this
they
podcast is
don't.
going to go, isn't it?
It's got this massive argument.
Oh, Lord.
So yeah, welcome to Movement Theories. Our show recommendations. Let's start with Newsies.
Okay.
Now, I haven't been lucky enough to.
That's such
You're laughing at
What's wrong with starting with Newsies?
so sorry. It's just, I can't look at you. It's just funny that you've chosen that one to start with, considering that you haven't seen it.
I've watched it on Disney Plus.
Sorry, yes.
It's Caitlin's show recommendation would be Newsies, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
You're a big fan. I haven't been. Now, if you let me finish what I was going to say, as soon as I said that, was the disclaimer of I haven't seen it in person yet, but I saw it on Disney Plus. And when I tell you that I was lying down with my face in my hands and my feet behind me going like this,
There's photo evidence.
there is evidence. We won't be showing it. I was so excited. It was really, really good. So Caitlin's going to tell us a little bit about Newsies, aren't
It was
you?
amazing.
You sound so drunk.
We're
not.
We're not. Completely sober.
We're just tired.
Just joyful.
Just tired.
And
That made you sound even drunker than you are.
and
What do you mean that I am? I've been
I'm
on the
going
orange
to talk
juice.
about Newsies. It was very good. I actually saw the understudy, who's now the alternate for Jack Kelly, who's like the main part, and the understudy for Catherine as well. But both of them were absolutely incredible, like really, really good. And obviously, the kind of standout thing about Newsies is the dance.
Yes.
And
Why are you laughing? Just my face.
the standout thing about Newsies is the dance, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And it's at the Wembley Troubadour.
You're laughing at nothing. You're laughing at nothing.
You're laughing at Joe now.
Sorry.
I'm standing here.
We've been doing this for like 6 hours now.
And you just started laughing. Why?
You guys got here at
'Kay.
3 o'clock and it's now
Oh god.
Okay.
Nearly 9 o'clock.
So, it's at the Wembley Troubadour Park Theatre, which is almost kind of
This is going to be an hour long. We're already 5 minutes in.
No one's gonna watch this. Or maybe they will. Maybe what they want is just
I
laughs.
actually think it would be really good to upload.
okay.
Thanks, Joe. Not for Spotify listeners. If you're
Maybe
on Spotify,
we
just go
just
across
keep
to
this
YouTube.
clip short, and then you can make a short out of it, and it's just us laughing for like 10 minutes. Okay.
Caitlin's been on the bevies.
We should do that, a podcast where we just got ciders or something. And
Yes.
It'd be kind of
please,
fun.
We do a drunk podcast.
Not a drunk
I would love a
podcast.
drunk
I've never been drunk.
Not as a cameraman. You can't be doing that as a cameraman.
Never ever
Oh,
been
not
drunk.
being a
Not me.
You just be going in and
I've
out
never
like
been
this.
drunk. Oh. Even though I sound it.
Caitlin gets drunk off tiredness. Are you zoomed in on her?
I currently am.
Yes, because it's all about me.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Newsies.
Thank you.
I went to see Newsies at the Wembley Troubadour Theatre.
I'm very jealous about that.
It was very good. It was a birthday present.
It was a birthday
It was.
present.
From my mum and my best friend, and we went to go and watch it, and we had the understudy for Jack and the understudy for Catherine, but they were both absolutely incredible. But obviously, like, the thing you take away from it is the dancing. Like, the chorus and ensemble dancing was
it's humbling.
amazing. Like, there were standing ovations basically after every number. Like, it was something really, really special.
Wait, a standing ovation every number?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it's kind of more of an arena setting, so some of the sound wasn't the best, but the kind of all the chairs were all like around the stage.
That's
most
cool.
of the way.
Yeah.
And so you got a really nice. The audience was like surrounded. They'd like run through the audience. We were up in I think it's the Brooklyn section. It was either Brooklyn and Manhattan. They were like named after different
Got you.
provinces, and we had newsies like running along and cartwheeling and singing like right in front of us in the aisles. And as you enter to like find your seat, there's kind of an immersive experience. So they have scaffolding with all like the stuff hanging up as you kind of walk up through, and it was amazing. And all the Brooklyn newsies were women, like that, the big scary newsies that like no one wants to go and get to rope into the strike.
Why is that then?
Because Brooklyn's scary.
And women are scary.
No.
Oh.
In the original that you watched,
Yes.
it's men.
Okay.
Because they're all men. But in the one in London at the moment, they've cast all the Brooklyn newsies as women.
That's
And
interesting.
so like the scariest newsies are all girls, and it's really cool. And they're like, Brooklyn's here, and they come and like cartwheel all down the front.
That's very cool.
It was really fun.
I think the thing with Newsies for me, what has made it so powerful and impactful was that when I first watched it, because I hadn't been doing MT for long, my previous knowledge of musicals was very, very different, and it wasn't as exciting, and so I wasn't expecting to see a musical like this scale.
We watched Newsies before we watched Hamilton, right? I think so.
Yes, I think
because we watched it with all our friends.
Yeah,
it was like a group
didn't
thing.
we?
Yeah.
And so this was one of the first ones that you kind of got me to see.
Well, having known you and having watched it,
You knew that
like
it'd be what I was
immediately.
interested in. Yeah.
If it was like, what's a musical for Josh? I'd say Newsies.
And you were right.
And when I went to watch it, I was like, I just have to. You have to see it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like as a show recommendation, Newsies is a very obvious one to recommend for people because it is so good.
Yeah.
I want to talk about PunchDrunk.
Oh yes, the BurntCity.
Yes, because
That your
it was
hand
incredible.
soap smells like.
For some reason the hand smoke gave me. I think they just used the same stuff. Now the PunchDrunk was really, really good. I didn't experience it like I could have, but that was because I had a very scared Kaitlin.
Yeah,
like,
no, you know what?
clinging onto my my arm.
In other podcasts, we might have had to cut me going, no, Josh, you can't say that, but actually that's fair. Like, I'll give you that.
But it was nice though. Like, I generally think back on it now.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a different mindset to who I was then.
Yeah.
Because then I just wanted to go like follow everyone into the darkest rooms and be like really scary. But actually looking back, it was really sweet because it was really nice kind of experiencing it
With someone who was
also
absolutely terrified.
whilst also looking after you. It was quite
I
nice.
was terrified. Just for some context, I'm a previous epileptic. I know I said that in the last episode, but it's very. If you are,
we need a
epileptic,
tally of when you mention epileptic, when you mention Carrie Fletcher. We need like a.
But this is like a genuine, like serious. If you are
Yes.
epileptic or are sensitive to flashing lights in any kind of context, this might not be the show for you.
Yes.
Because it's an immersive experience where you follow the actors around like Promenade Theatre, and there are a lot of flashing lights, and I found that quite unnerving.
And a lot of loud, sudden sounds.
Yes.
There was one point where hadn't we gone in to look into one of the rooms?
Someone knocked on the
and
door.
then someone like knocked on the door loudly, and you screamed and then like grabbed onto me, and then one of the cast walked past and laughed. Which just made me laugh because I was like, you made them
It
break
was really
character.
embarrassing, but
You made them break character twice.
I did.
Yeah, someone apologised to you
I was
because
really
you.
scared.
Yeah.
I was really scared, but it was quite scary because all of the audience members had these like white plague doctor masks on.
It's immersive theatre.
Yeah.
Probably should have mentioned kind of small details about it.
Yeah, and so everyone has white plague doctor masks on, and then the actors kind of don't, and so they follow. You've kind of follow. It's easy to follow
it's
them.
how you
around.
can tell the actors apart. Because
Yeah.
the actors are the people without wearing masks.
So
and we're just like these
it's
skull.
terrifying because there's like hundreds of people in these big white plague doctor masks, and some of them might be actors and some of them might not, and it's terrifying. And then people just walk up behind you, and then like other people who looked like they weren't actors got like taken into separate rooms, I was like, I'm not going anywhere other than by your side, because I was like, if I get just things like that have always freaked me out.
Imagine if you just got taken by an actor into like one of his private
I would
rooms.
have actually kicked, like, embarrassing, but I would have actually kicked and screamed. I'd have been like
like a little child.
literally.
Yeah.
I can't. I think overall it was a really great experience.
Yes.
However, you have to be in the right mindset for
Yes.
it. I
There was
found it
one
quite
very.
scary.
I mean, I don't know if the show's still going, so this might be a spoiler. But
I think it is.
It is.
It's been going for a long time.
Well, I'll say it anyway.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Skip ahead by like a minute. There's a really eye-opening but kind of scary but realistic as well scene where they murdered some young
it's
lady,
awful.
hung her up by her ankles and just stripped her naked.
Yeah.
And she was just like blood was just
Bleeding.
dripping down, and she was
And-
like being hung around. There was this massive circle of like
Yeah.
100 of us in skull masks.
And it happened a few times, and
Yeah.
you followed different characters to get to that scene.
Yeah, so
It was
we
very
saw it
confusing.
repeated, and we were like, "Oh, this is happening again." But we realised that the show had just restarted. I think they must have done the show like 3 times
Yeah.
in the
And you
3
just-
hours that we were there. But we were
Because you follow
following
different
different people's
people.
perspectives without realising. By the end, we started to stitch together some of the story.
And we go, oh, we haven't seen this person. Let's go and follow that.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. It was a really cool experience.
So it's in London.
Would recommend.
Yeah.
Just if you're a bit of a scaredy cat like me, just like prepare yourself.
Take someone with you who will look after you.
Yeah.
Because it was who doesn't mind as well looking after you.
Yes.
I think.
I know my mum probably would have told me to just grow up.
So
Not about the like flashing lights thing.
no,
just
about the
being a
scariness,
scaredy
yeah.
cat.
I think we'll save some more show recommendations for another.
Oh, could we just do one more?
No, I want to move on to the
Okay.
Chhaya Youth.
Let's move on.
Yeah, next episode. You
Okay.
can look forward to it.
Deal.
Once we're back from Uganda, it's pretty
Exciting.
exciting. So Chhaya Dance is run by an amazing choreographer called Crook, and it's local to us in Devon, which we are very appreciative of
Very
because there
lucky.
aren't many opportunities to do professional level dance like this. So how it works is Chhaya is an international touring dance company directed by Kay, and then she has a youth company which is in Exeter and Exmouth. Please don't stalk me. And so you can go along to that for free. No, not for free. You can go along to that without audition, basically. That's what I mean is, when I say
But-
free, I mean without audition.
But
for some reason.
I think it's quite nice to say that actually Arts Council England did fund a term for us because of Kay's
That's
work.
true. Yes.
And so we did. There was one term that was funded by Arts Council, so we
Yes. Mm-hmm.
didn't have to pay, which is amazing and kind of shows you how amazing Kay's work is
Yeah.
too.
So, for some reason, for free in my head is just not auditioning for something. Having to audition is like having to pay.
That's just like drama school audition trauma.
Oh man, we can go into that on
we
an
will
episode.
go into that.
So you can go along without audition. I think that the audition, to be honest, is just the first session, and if you can survive the first session, then you're through.
Kay
type of thing.
is the tiniest, most loveliest human ever, but
Yeah.
she has so much energy.
I know.
So much energy, and does these like classes twice in a row, and just
Crazy.
But it isn't like any old dance teacher who might just like stand and watch. Like she does every
Everything.
single exercise with you,
Yes.
and doesn't break a sweat, and is still smiling and bouncing.
Because I feel like if she didn't, you'd be like, oh man, she's getting us to all this hard work. She can't do it herself.
Yeah.
But now we're like, hold on, how is she still
Mad
going?
respect, isn't
Mad,
it?
crazy.
And so my train of thought went. I'm so sorry.
It's gone? Yeah, so she does a youth class, and then she has like an older one for people like GCSE years plus. And from those, she picks people who she likes and who she likes working with, and she invites them to take part in her touring company for the youth dancers. And so that's what we've both been part of. Kaitlin has joined this last 2 years.
I've done 2 years.
2 years of it.
Performance company.
I can't remember how long I've been in it for, but I've been working with Kay since I joined school, year 7.
Yeah.
And so we should talk about some of the stuff that we've done with them.
Yeah. Let's
And I've got
start.
an interesting story to say just later on, but I'll let you.
Let's start with last year.
Yes.
So last year was my first year with Chhaya, and I did performance company, and we created a piece. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. The one this year is called Liberty, but last year we did a piece, and it kind of centered around the workers and how life can be really quite stressful, and there's this focus on. It was almost like between work and chaos, and we all wore like suits, and
It's very
it was,
contemporary.
Yeah,
Very, very
amazing,
contemporary.
really fun piece to do. Lots of like
Yeah.
shaking things
But
out.
she likes to fuse it with different
Yeah.
elements of different
Well,
styles.
Chhaya is a fusion of
Indian.
dance and contemporary dance, which is a really lovely thing to get to experience. And so we went and toured that a little bit, and performed it in the Phoenix, and we went to Bridgewater. And
Yeah, we went to lots of
Taunton,
different places
all sorts
around.
of places,
Yeah.
which was really nice.
And this year we've done the same with a new piece.
We have, and so
It's
we
about a
generally do
dictatorship.
an intensive of a few days.
Oh, yes,
create the piece,
process.
which is really nice because we create a lot of the movement based off of like stuff we do in her class, and then she is like the mastermind and like puts it all together and
Yes.
ends up making something pretty cool.
So all of the movement is basically hers. I mean,
Yeah.
she gives us tasks to come up with the choreography, but we usually just use the type of things that we've been taught from her
Exactly,
anyway.
yeah.
And then she chooses if she has like 8 of us in pairs doing something, she'll choose one of those pairs, the movement that she likes, and that'll like be what is taught to everyone else, and then
Yeah.
we kind of grow on that.
And so this year's piece is Liberty.
It's about a dictatorship.
Yes, and kind of the people and how they're kind of trying to just dance and live their lives, and the dictator's like, no. And so
Yeah.
it's got voices of like Charlie Chaplin and things over the top
Mm-hmm.
saying these, with this big scary voice, and we use this big light to kind of
Yeah,
show
it's
that
the same
fear.
vibe as Christopher Bruce's Ghost Dances. Would you not say? The Chilean
Yeah, there's bits of
dictatorship.
it that are quite similar, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have tap, but
When you say it has the voice of Charlie Chaplin in it, is that from the movie, The Great Dictator?
oh,
Quite possibly.
quite
He
possibly.
made a very famous movie called The Great
It's a good thing we have a film
We do, yeah.
student.
Yeah, it's quite possible because he talks about like the war and
Yeah,
the
so
people
potentially it was is his voice recordings from.
from that.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's probably his big monologue from the end. Anyway, so
Yes.
It might be.
Yes,
Yes.
that sounds quite
But
possible.
an interesting story with this one
Oh goodness.
that I've got to say is that nothing bad about you
Oh yeah, that's what I was waiting for. No, I didn't think so.
is so we were touring this one round, right? We were doing performances, showcases of it, and it's a really fun piece. I'd missed out on a couple things, and didn't I miss some of the intensive?
Yeah, you.
Or was it this one? I'm always
yeah,
like
you
not
did.
there for
the
things.
first one you had COVID,
Yeah.
and then the second one. something
I'm
else.
always just not there for things, so I just catch up. And it was really, really good. And we did our final performance was for like the UDance festival. Kay was saying it was the festival that we're doing. I hadn't realised until the day it was a competition. I just thought we were doing a fun performance. And so we kind of finish, and it's like, oh, okay, we see what they kind of score us or where they put us. And I'm really confused.
Did
I'm
you really
like,
not know that?
I didn't.
That's so funny.
She said UDance festival. I thought it was just a fun showcase from loads of groups around the area. And it turns out it was a competition, which we ended up winning, which means we're going to Newcastle for the finals.
Well, when this is out, we'll know.
Yeah, yes, it's
we'll know
true.
how it's
This
gone.
episode is coming out when we do the UDance finals.
So you might be able to be like,
That's such a flex. It was a competition. I won it. I didn't know it was
I know.
genuinely didn't.
Well, it was a
I
really.
thought it was a showcase.
It's a lovely piece, and I think it's very not to like try and sound all quirky, but it was very different to a lot of the other pieces that we saw that night, and a lot of the other pieces that we usually
All of her pieces
perform
are
with
different.
Are
though.
always very very different, which is really nice to be a part of.
Yes.
But yeah, so we will be at the UDance Festival in Newcastle this year, and we'll know, like future us who is posting this will know whether we.
Yeah. Because this has
Did it
been
or not?
recorded, like 3 weeks in advance?
Yeah, we're really quite prepared.
Tell me for context, for us right now, the second podcast hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, podcast 2 hasn't
we
been out.
released
That's out this weekend.
the first one
A couple of days ago.
2 days ago.
Um,
It's Tuesday, and we released it on Sunday.
yeah. This has so basically,
And
we're going
we're-
to Uganda for 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
And so we're doing some
And then
pre-recording.
we get back from Uganda on the 19th, and then we leave for UDance on the 21st because
Yeah.
we're insane.
So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Which is why this has been done. Which
This
is
has
why
been
we were in a weird place at the beginning of this episode because we've been here for 6 hours now. Wait,
It's
hold
been
on.
a long day. And
Literally 6
I
hours.
started work this morning at 6:30. Or I left my house at 6:30 and got to work at 6:45.
That's crazy.
And then finished work at 3 and then started filming podcasts.
You've been working for about 14 hours.
Yeah, but most of those aren't paid because we have no budget.
We are not getting paid to be here.
Paid in my appreciation.
Yeah, go and send us a Q&A.
and love. What is a typical class like?
typical class, like we said, is pretty hardcore. And the reason Josh said it kind of seems like an audition is because the people that stick around are the people that are ready to commit, and it's hard work. So we generally start with kind of some kind of more cardio, moving around the space, interacting with each other type warm up.
It's very bouncy, very jumpy.
Yeah, and then we'll do the one. My favourite one is when we bring in all the energy. We go like that. We do lots of scooping, and then you're really incredibly out of breath, loads of bouncing, use so much power, and then this is my favourite bit. Is when she's like, okay, and then you stand with your hands on your chest and your stomach.
She hadn't been doing that for too long though. I remember she introduced it once, and I said to her at the end, that was really good, like really useful. Can we do that more? And she was like, absolutely.
Really centered and relaxed afterwards. And she won't let you go and get like a drink of. That sounds like really bad, but she won't let you go and get your drink of water or do something else. Like she's just like, just wait and feel your body.
And then we get. And
because you're so aware of what's going on, so. But she'll talk to you and you're kind of thinking about your breathing or thinking about like she'll talk you through all the parts of your body. And I always find that I'm so like in this headspace, and then she's like, okay, and now come back to your breathing, and I'm like, wow, my heart rate has like gone right back to.
But the important thing about this training is when you look at her main company, you know that whenever you watch a piece, it's always going to be max energy. You know, no resting, no excuses for not working hard. And
we don't ever leave the stage in any of her pieces, so we usually stand.
Which is a good thing. I really like that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, really like and it's quite nice because you get to watch all of it at the same time. Like, it's really really nice. And these pieces are like 9 minutes long. I think our UDance one's 8 minutes because it had to be 8 minutes.
But her professional pieces are always like hours, whatever. However long.
Oh, incredible!
We're just a youth company.
We are.
We only do.
But
I remember when I was like 13, 14. And as part of the CAT scheme, I did my first ever 10-minute piece, and I was like, it was like the hardest thing I'd ever done. And now it's just like, it was just kind of normal. It's not even normal. It's less than.
It doesn't feel normal. Like
it goes quite quickly.
It does. It goes really quickly, especially I think because you're actually not dancing for 10 minutes straight. Like I start by watching the duet, and then you join in with the duet in a bit, and quite a lot of it. It kind of highlights different groups. It's really, really clever. If you can find any of Kay's work online, I would definitely recommend having a watch.
Are we still in the recommending?
No. Oh, no, we've moved. This is section 2, my friend.
We're on 25 minutes.
No, okay. This is us talking about company.
Yeah, there are 2 more things to get through. Not to get through, like we enjoy talking about them, but we do have like a schedule.
I think they understand we're a bit dead at this time.
We talked about a performance company.
The thing to take from this is if you ever have the opportunity to watch a Chhaya piece, do it. Absolutely, you should do it.
Yes. We're not
not
biased.
No, not at all. But now something interesting. This may be the title. I'm really not sure. We're going to talk about yoga, and actually one of the.
Well done. Well done.
One of the styles in particular.
Do you want me to get that for you?
I've got it. I will. I was in shock.
We're going to talk about yoga and its benefits, aren't we?
Yes, and one of the styles in particular that you have actually done before.
I have. I'm a bit worried now that I'm gonna like get it wrong.
Oh.
But I have done this before.
I don't actually have the name of it in front of me. But
Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga.
There we go.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff.
So actually, my story about this it's a little bit funny. So my dad, shout out to my dad. I was about to name drop him, but then I didn't know how he'd feel about that.
No, I still haven't bleeped out your brother's names from the last podcast.
That's all right. Shout out to my dad. He did a 2-year yoga instructor course, so he is a trained yoga instructor and occasionally teaches. But therefore, through doing all of that, he met a lot of other yoga teachers. And so I went to a new opening of a yoga studio, and I was maybe 9 or 10, I think. But for some reason, we didn't think we were going to do yoga.
Okay.
And I went wearing a dress, and then I had to do yoga. So, but it wasn't all like yoga as you'd kind of imagine it, with like all the stretching and downward dog and all that. We tried some different yoga, and I think it's called Ashtanga yoga. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, this is really embarrassing. But it kind of involved more of the music and the noise and the kind of like ohms and kind of thing that's like that you kind of imagine.
Yeah.
With more traditional yoga, which was really eye-opening and quite different. And it was really nice to get to meet all of these very
cool people. Got some facts about
then, hit me with some facts.
Some history. Love a good bit of history.
We do.
It's said to originate over 5,000 years ago in India. Yes, that's a long time. And first was mentioned in ancient sacred texts written Sanskrit. Now there is a name later on that I might butcher. We'll see. But it's a major part of Hinduism and Buddhism, and some benefits of it is lowest stress hormones. If you're ever doing exams, probably just do some yoga.
Yeah, well, I found that actually when we were doing our dance exams, we'd like come in, we had dance first thing on a Monday morning.
And we do a warm-up.
And doing a yoga warm-up was the best thing because it just felt like you were like, okay.
Yeah.
I feel better about it all now. And then we do some theory and you were kind of a bit more in a better place about it.
We should appreciate how pretty the sky is
The
right
sky
now.
is very pretty.
It's
You
really
can't
nice.
see it, but
You
I promise
can't
it's
see
really
it, and you're
nice.
not gonna
Especially
see
the audio listeners.
Audio listeners are so confused.
Audio listeners just have seen us laughing. They can't even see us making eye contact with each other.
Yeah.
Bless.
So it lowers stress hormones and increases endorphins and gamma aminobutyric acid,
I believe you.
otherwise known as GABA, which has anti-seizure and anti-anxiety effects, which is, I mean, for someone like you, anti-seizure...
You said it, not me.
What?
You brought it up, not me.
That's true. But anti-seizure and anti-anxiety effects, that's really good.
Yeah. I needed to do some of that during PunchDrunk, didn't I?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe I should have gone, can I just go and do
floor.
some yoga?
It
That'd be
also
okay.
increases mental clarity, body awareness and concentration.
I think that's very true. I've got another yoga story.
You do?
I do. Again, more crazy things that Kaitlin does and ropes her dad into. For my, bless him, Father's Day present, I've done this twice now. I once did summer solstice yoga with my mum, and my mum's quite used to doing crazy things like that on the beach, and it was really fun, really, really fun. And so I thought, for Father's Day this year, I'll get my dad. I booked us 2 slots for summer solstice yoga at 5 a.m.
Which is very thoughtful.
On the beach.
See, I got my dad beer.
Actually, Josh, I had to remind that Father's Day had happened 3 days ago.
No comment.
No comment. But we did
Father's Week.
We did we did Father's Day. Well, it wasn't meant to be Father's Day yoga, but it turned out to be. And so we did summer solstice yoga on the beach, 5 o'clock.
5
and this time had a sound bath. Have you ever been to a sound bath?
I have not.
This was my second sound bath. Would you believe it?
Okay.
And so this one had we did yoga with it, and it's basically someone has a bunch of instruments, often like pipes or shakers or the little chimes, and they create a really like relaxing atmosphere. And so we were like doing yoga, and there was just the waves in the background and the chimes, and it's called a sound bath. The other time I've been to a sound bath is quite funny. I went to, I'm not going to dox a location. I was about to say it. No, I'm not. I went to a local local hall, and I just done auditions for a show. And then I had to go to my mum had booked us into the sound bath. So I was waiting for a call. And I was like,
which show was this?
Bath. This was West Side Story, which got cancelled.
Oh, yes.
But I got offered a part and then went to the sound bath.
Nice.
And so me and my friend Edie, who, shout out to Edie. I hope she's watching this one.
She's probably not.
She's watched the other one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Oh,
I'm so negative.
And we went to the sound bath, and we'd both been offered parts, and we were really excited. And then this whole thing was meant to relax us. So, but this time, instead of doing yoga, we brought sleeping bags, pillows, blankets, and you lay.
I've heard about this.
Yeah,
Is this at the gym?
Yes.
I've heard about this.
And we lay under all these blankets and pillows, and then you just listen to the sounds. And it was really nice. And they like turn the lights off.
Didn't your dad fall asleep?
My mum fell asleep.
Your mum fell asleep.
My mum fell asleep, and I was under my covers because I was very much awake. And I looked out from under my covers, and the person was walking past with the chimes, and we made eye contact, and I just went back under my little blanket. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience. It was really cool.
Should we mention the second time that you did yoga at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
That evening, you drove up to Cardiff to watch Harry Styles.
Yeah.
As a last minute, you found out the night before.
So at 10 o'clock the night before, we were here, and got a phone call from my lovely
very good friend.
And she said,
Had a spare ticket?
I've got a spare ticket. Would you like to come watch Harry Styles? I said, absolutely, yes, I do. Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
And so at 5 a.m. that morning, or actually 4:30 I got up,
Yes.
and then went down to the beach, did yoga at 5 till 6, had some breakfast with my dad where I work, was lovely, and then went home, had an hour long nap, and then I went to watch Harry Styles.
I'm very jealous, by the way, that I didn't get invited.
Well, I went.
But next time.
Well, if I'd have said no, you'd have said yes, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And you would have worn my pink sparkly cowboy hat.
That is true. Yeah. Yoga, I think, partnered with calisthenics. If you've seen episode 1, I think that's a great little combo.
I think it's the ideal thing, isn't it?
Great little combo.
And a lot of movement and dance companies like Yasmin Vardaman do yoga or Pilates every morning before.
As a good warm up, good cool down.
Yeah,
I mean,
really good.
Really good for everything.
Well, it stretches. Well, it focuses on muscles.
Increases your flexibility, your muscle strength and tone, respiration, and weight reduction.
Well, a lot of when you do yoga, they tell you to focus on your breathing. They do like inhale, because you inhale on certain movements and exhale out on others.
Yeah.
Which is really
really
good.
It's why for dancers, Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga, which is what you believe that you did,
I think
would massively improve strength and balance.
I think Ashtanga. I'm going to be so embarrassed if this is wrong.
Should have fact checked.
Maybe I should. Maybe I'll fact check. You can
at some point.
You talk about that something else, and I'm going to fact check my.
Well, we're going to do a debate very shortly, and the topic for our little debate is going to be about tricks helping in the industry. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to say that they do help you in the industry, and I think because from my audition process, I've found that if you can do a little handspring, suddenly it's like, wow, that's really, really cool. I think a very brave point that I might make is that everyone's really talented, so if you can do a flip, you're going to get more attention.
I think that's an interesting point. I think it depends what school you're going for.
It's true.
Because,
or show.
I think in the context of schools, if you were auditioning for a place like Erdang, they'd probably be more attracted to that. But if you were auditioning for somewhere like Central...
Yeah,
maybe
I had an audition
much.
for Erdang. I didn't get in. It was a very jazzy audition, and I'd done 4 lessons of jazz leading up to it, and I didn't do many tricks because I was so focused. They were like, you've got to really perform, got to really like be like really showy, like your showmanship or whatever. And I'm just there like I can't keep up with these steps, and so my face was really focused. Whereas at Bird, it was like an Afro fusion kind of contemporary blend, which I was really comfortable with, and so I did a really good at showing for that, and that's where I got my offer.
I think we'll definitely go into like your drama school experience, because I'd love to kind of interview you on that and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'd try and interview you, but there wouldn't be much to say.
We can talk about my experiences.
With 2 auditions.
It's very different.
Yeah, no, Kaitlin was very, very lucky.
I was.
You were lucky.
It was a very different experience.
Yeah. Oh, Joe's even lucky. Joe just sent off a personal statement, and they were like, "We want you." Oh man, I wish it was that easy.
We wish.
Explain that I got that right before exams. So my exams had no stress attached to them.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
Fuming. Because the personal statement bit for me was like 10% of what I had to do to try and get a place somewhere.
Well, if that.
In all fairness, it wasn't just a personal statement.
You had an interview, but they already decided they wanted you off your personal statement.
Wait, was there more than a personal? I can't remember, honestly.
Did you send a CV as well?
I told them about like a bunch of like reviews and theories I had written.
Yeah.
I told them where to find them. I think that was it, actually. Yeah.
Oh, shush. It was 10% of my process was that personal statement. I was, It's tough. It's really, really tough applying.
And
There's a lot of work you have to do.
Yeah, but then again, I think the same kind of thing applies in the industry of...
We're talking about tricks, aren't we? I keep forgetting that.
If you can do a trick for Newsies, great, you're in. If
well,
yeah. But, or, if you're applying for Les Mis, they don't care if you get a bag handspring.
However, a trick on the other hand is maybe in your singing, if you've got some cool singing trick.
Yes. See, and
which I don't know much about.
Then maybe in Les Mis, because if you can hit that top C or whatever it is.
Would you say that's
for
a trick?
Cosette.
Would you say that's like a cool trick you can do? You can hit a high note, or is that just power?
I think it depends what your definition of trick is. Maybe not in that Les Mis context, but like...
A movement trick for an ensemble cast member would surely help. Especially make you stand out, give you a little bit of an edge.
But not an ensemble in Les Mis.
No, sorry, certain shows though.
Right,
I
so
feel
like Grease.
Yes,
or
certain shows that you want to do. I think let's say you've got two people who are equally good, both can sing well, both acting in terms of acting are amazing, but one of them can do some flips across the stage, and one of them can't. Would you not think they'd go for?
No, I think that's a very valid point.
At the same time, there are some things that influence decisions which make me shocked. And it was a director I was talking to who had been sat in an audition room. They weren't doing the casting; they were just sat in there. And the casting directors had everyone applying on a list, and next to their names they had the amount of Twitter followers they had, which made me go, oh man, I got to start getting my Twitter up. I don't have Twitter. I can't even. It's too much.
Wow, that's a lot.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess at the end of the day, if they're all really good, they want to like know whose name they can stick on the poster.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why kind of promoting social media and your presence online is probably quite important.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen recently Brandon Lee Sears.
Yes. Yeah.
On Instagram has been making a real push on their social presence, which is definitely working.
Yeah.
And they're in Shrek at the moment, aren't they?
Yes, I saw him in Dreamgirls, and he was absolutely incredible. Like, so good. That whole show is just beautiful. Like, if you can see Dreamgirls, go and see Dreamgirls. But he was really, really good. And from that, that's how I kind of found him.
It must be really hard. I mean, we kind of drifted off topic, but trying to create this persona of, I mean, I'm sure they are really nice people, but let's say you've just finished a show, you're really tired, and then having to leave stage door and take photos of hundreds of fans.
That's a lot.
You know, you don't want to be like, oh man, just leave me alone. So you're gonna have to soldier through, put on this kind of face, take all these photos, because it will create, these things will be posted on people's Instagrams, people will become who you are, and you know, if you're a bit grumpy, then people are going to be like, I don't want to watch them. You have a bad name for yourself. But all it is you're probably just exhausted after a show.
Very normal thing.
Yeah. Which, you know, the couple shows that I've done, I was shattered afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm really tired.
Yeah.
But on to tricks again.
Yes.
I found that in my audition, like, the people that were talked about were the people who could do a free cartwheel or something. Free cartwheels I see all the time, though. Like, they've got so boring to me. I could do them a couple of years ago. I haven't really tried since. But, I mean, everyone just does them.
And I think that's another argument for you, is the fact that, like, I wasn't in musical theatre auditions. I auditioned for drama and education.
Imagine
and
going for, like,
courses.
Central and just being, like, partway through your monologue, just doing a backflip and being like, there you go.
There you go.
Cool trick.
Have me for drama and education.
Yeah.
Put me in applied theatre.
It just depends.
It just depends what you're applying for, what you're looking for, where in the industry you're hoping to lie, because, you know, it's a very tough kind of place, and you've also kind of got to find your niche, and so maybe it would be dependent on who you are of whether they would benefit you or not.
But I think, let's say this podcast, Movement Theories.
Yes.
So if we're thinking purely the shows that do require a heavy movement aspect, tricks and, you know, backflips become so boring after a while. They're really fun. They're really cool.
All of it leading up to it, don't you? The round off and the handsprings. And
but there's so much more, I think, trick-wise, that can be more impressive for shows. And a backflip, like, is great. You know, lots of people can do them. They look great. They're really cool. But they get a little bit overhyped.
When we went to watch Moulin Rouge, and I feel like that would be a good example, because there was circus tricks, they had like the hoops in the air, they had
lots of other tricks,
like lifts and stuff that were really complex, and the flexibility was incredible. Obviously the can they're like kicking to their ears and then jumping into the splits, like that's something like would kind of lie under tricks, but is really quite different.
If I had to think of tricks that can be subtle, but I think would really make a difference in just like the kind of wow of a show. Something as simple as a kick up, where you kind of like you're lying on the ground, you're rolling, just kick back up. You can just do in like a split second as just part of something before you kind of run off and do something else.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really notice it, but it's so much more effective than kind of like rolling and kind of trying to stand up like that. It's like a really kind of quick, cool.
You see the Christian in Moulin Rouge get thrown into like someone else's arms, and he's a principal character, so he's not, you know, people who play Christian like Antevate or Joe Moscato are like known for their dancing. Yeah. But it's like some quite simple things that are very effective, because it kind of, he's like flying and, you know, very, very effective.
It'd be good to know what you think as an audience.
Yes, let us know.
Where do you stand? Especially like, on each episode when we do have our debates, which do usually go off on tangents.
Yes, we have a little bit.
The idea of the debate is just to give some inspiration to kind of spark discussion. And so we would like to know what you think, because it'd be really interesting just apart from... We've already had a local MD let us know.
We have.
Which is so exciting.
I really hope he was watching.
I hope you're watching this one. I mean, 5 in would be impressive if you're still around. We just haven't bored you off. Especially with how long these are getting.
If he's watching this episode, we'll invite him on.
Ooh. No, yeah, I'll say yes to that.
Yeah?
I'll say yes. I'd interview him.
I think he'd be very good.
Yeah. You and Joe can both share the camera work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you're watching this episode, send us a message and we can get you on one of the future podcasts.
Very
for
nice.
sure. Be very interesting.
He's lovely.
Because, bit of context, he's a young, quite fresh into the space music director who has been making a lot of kind of steps.
Lots of shows. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so probably has a lot to say.
Yes.
A nice kind of young perspective, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for watching this
Thanks very
episode. Sorry for the beginning. We profusely apologise.
I think the beginning is going to be their favourite part.
Yeah,
You sure?
I think.
Okay.
That was a hell of... Don't you dare edit that.
No, it was really fun.
And yeah, so thank you for listening. This is such a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I'm
even
really
though we
enjoying
spend
it.
like 3 hours per episode.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And that's just the recording. But we appreciate the support that we do get from you.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
really
yeah,
amazing.
let's hope for many more.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Like, subscribe. I hate saying it.
You don't have to. It's okay. I'll
Okay.
just put the little graphic up.
Subscribe.
Go on, Joe, you
hit that
say it.
follow, hit the notification.
You know what I will say is follow us on socials.
With social media.
I'll
yeah.
say that. That's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
I
we're
can
going
do
to post some of the clips and stuff on there.
Yeah.
And good stuff. Good times.
Thanks. Bye.
See you next week. Goodbye.